First Lady, thank you for everything you are doing for us. I'm so proud to be best.
What you're looking at here is actually Amanda Ungaro's son, Giovanni. He was allegedly being used as part of a strategy to get closer to Melania Trump. And according to a brand new interview from the Courier, that strategy may go further than anyone realized. This is It's Not Satire, untangling threads from the deep and complex stories. But before we begin, subscribe, because this one is far from over. So this new interview was published by the Courier just days after Melania Trump issued that 6-minute statement denying any connection to Jeffrey Epstein. And according to the Courier journalists, that statement was triggered by Amanda Ungaro. Everything you're about to hear comes directly from her responses. Some of it's disputed and there are denials on record, but taken together, it adds a completely new layer to the story. Ungaro claims she wasn't only casual acquaintances with the Trumps, but frequent guests in the Trumps' orbit. She and Paolo Zampolli were guests at the president's table at both Trump inaugurations. She describes years of proximity, holidays, private events, Mar-a-Lago, even the White House. So we're talking about someone who claims they spent significant amount of time with Melania, and that context matters because it's what underpins everything she claims next. She says the force behind this proximity was her ex-husband, Paolo Zampolli. She describes Zampoli's approach to befriend the Trumps as a deliberate power strategy, where increasing intimacy meant increasing access. And not just through her, but through her son Giovanni. She says that video we just saw wasn't just a thoughtful gesture from a family friend, it was an intentional strategy to embed themselves deeper into the Trumps' inner circle. One of the most interesting parts of this interview is what she says about how Donald Trump and Melania met. There's always been massive public interest in that story, and Ungaro directly challenges a key version of it. She claims that Zampolli presenting himself as the person who introduced them is a false narrative. Now, Melania and Zampolli have both denied that, but Ungaro goes further, suggesting there may have been a reason that narrative was constructed in the first place. The context around this is there have been contested claims surfacing from authors like Andrew Lowney and publications like The Daily Beast that Melania met Donald Trump through Epstein, but Melania has vigorously denied such allegations and threatened legal action to those touting those claims. Amanda Ungaro did not go this far in her assertion. Amanda, who was detained by ICE and deported to Brazil, says that when she was detained by immigration authorities, she tried to reach Melania through mutual contacts. And she was told Melania knew about her detention, but Melania did nothing. That's Amanda's claim, and it feeds into a broader allegation she makes that there's some kind of long-standing alignment between Melania, her husband, and Zampolli. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, the translated interview where Amanda describes the flight and her interaction with Epstein, you need that for context. Check out the Amanda Ungaro playlist I've linked at the end of this video, because this interview doesn't replace it, it builds on it. She alleges that Zampolli had business dealings with Jeffrey Epstein and was involved in recruiting girls. That claim is denied, but it's central to how she frames everything else as part of a much larger system, not isolated events. And then there's this line. She says Melania knows she witnessed, quote-unquote, highly compromising interactions over the course of 20 years, and that she would testify before Congress if asked. So right now, these are the allegations. There are denials, and there's no confirmed evidence tying these claims together. But what's changed is the scope. This is no longer just a story about one encounter, it's a claim about proximity to power, influence, and what may have been happening behind the scenes for years. If you want the full context, start with the original translated interview. It lays the foundation for everything she's saying here. And also the video detailing Amanda's trajectory going from elite social circles to ICE detention and deportation. And finally, subscribe. I'll be following this more as it develops.